Ken? Mute your mic.
Oh. All right, I see 11 o'clock. We can call this administration committee for the San Lorenzo Valley Water District to order. Can you please take roll?
Alina Lane,
Here.
Mark Dolson,
Here.
Cheryl Adams,
Here.
and Shelley Tanton is joining
Here.
us remotely. Thank you.
Do we have any changes or deletions to the agenda?
No.
All right.
Actually, there is one change.
Oh. Yes.
Items on the attachments were inadvertently put in the wrong order. So we're just gonna go with what the agenda says, and we're gonna start with the service connection policy, which is actually item 4B, I believe, as far as the attachments go.
Yeah, it's A and D got switched.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I figured we would follow the order of the agenda itself, but the attachments are in the wrong order.
okay.
Just to eliminate some confusion.
Okay, perfect. All right, this is the public comment for anything not on the agenda. We have no one in the room. Do we have anyone online? Or is it Shelley? No. All right, and then we can move to our first order of business, which is the service connection policy.
Yes, all right. So we are presenting a proposed service connection policy, and I also attached a service connection policy flow chart just for a visual. The purpose of this policy is to establish a clear, consistent, and standardized process for reviewing and administering requests. Currently, service connection requests are handled through a combination of existing practices, procedures, and policies. This proposal consolidates those requirements into one single document, improving transparency, consistency, and efficiency. This policy addresses will serve letter requirements and procedures, service application and deposit requirements, condition of service, including water main extensions, long service line agreements, low pressure agreements, and LAFCO requirements. Meter relocation procedures, ADU metering options, fire sprinkler and dedicated fire service requirements, and the process for the long service line agreements, which do require board approval. In addition, like I said, I did attach the flow chart to provide a visual overview, not just for staff, but also for customers and for the board. Hopefully that will make it a little bit easier. With that, I'll take any questions you might have.
Were you gonna say something?
No, I sneezed.
Oh, okay. All right, Mark Dolson, we can start with you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I'll just make a kind of a blanket statement. I think it's great that you're doing this, and I appreciate you bringing it to the admin committee. I've looked over all the documents, and I just don't feel that I have much to offer here in the way of useful feedback. There's a lot of detail there, and a lot of things that I don't have any direct experience with, and so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Thank you.
All right, Cheryl Adams.
Well, there were two pieces to this, the stuff that's right below the memo, and then the actual document, the actual giant policy document that you also have some red lines in. So I was wondering, which did you want input on? The one that's the part that's right below
This is the service connection policy.
the service
Yeah.
connection
So
policy.
it's just the attachment A and attachment B.
Okay, it was really hard for me to follow. So I just had some suggestions on, or questions, I should say, on this. You know, I brought up the acronyms before, so some of those I understand and some of them I didn't. And I was just wondering if there was a thought of maybe having a acronym glossary somewhere in the policy manual.
That's a good idea.
Okay, that would solve all this if we could just, you know, let people look it up. Because I'm looking at this in just a piece of it, so I can't go back to the whole document and see, did you actually spell it out like 25, 30 pages ago. But if I was a glossary, I could just go boom to the glossary. Well, that means, yeah, cool. So that was a suggestion.
Okay.
I want to go down to the policy itself. I have some questions, and maybe it's just because I wasn't familiar with it, and you guys can kind of fill me in on this. But,
I also have a really hard time with this packet.
sorry, it's just there's lots of wade through here to get to it. There's the utility. Service connection policy, okay. You have a distinction in section 1102 in the will serve letter section that there are properties that are not previously served and they're existing services. And my question was, is there a special designation for people who were burned out of the CZU fire? They were connected at one point, they have to reconnect. Is it considered a brand new connection? Or were they existing services that need to be reconnected?
There exists existing services.
Okay. I just have a special interest in fire victims, so I want to make sure that they're taken care of and
They're actually in a whole separate category of CZU. So
great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That helps a lot. All right. Let's go to
I don't know what we're commenting on.
yeah, acronyms. The district review, part 1104, shall review applications to determine availability, water main proximity, pressure zone, all that stuff that are really important. And then it goes on to, so you guys are going to do that assessment, and then doing the service determination part takes into consideration all those things. And it can be allowed or not, depending on some things like conditional approval, long line service agreements, low pressure service agreements. And my question, I guess, was, do we, are we looking at these kinds of things, the conditional approval items that you're talking about, because of cost? Because it would cost the district to have to improve infrastructure in order to put a line in? Is it the cost always on the burden of the district, or their cost sharing between the district and the person who's applied for the services?
There's cost share.
There is.
there's lots of ways to do it. So if you're sometimes on the long service lines agreement, something like that, where they want to put the meter closer to the main and then run a long service, right? So that behooves the customer, because the customer would normally have to pay to have that main line extended. And so those are all the things that you have to weigh in. Is there a feasible way to get the customer water? That's all we're looking at.
Right. And, I had an experience with PG&E, and I know they're a for-profit entity and we are not, we are a government entity. So it's a completely different process and a completely different thing. But there are also government processes where there is a cost sharing thing, especially depending on a person's ability to pay. But that's why I was wondering if, so that's not, it's not spelled out here, but it's behind the scenes happening, basically.
Yeah, it's hard to write every possible scenario out. So you kind of list the general topics that we would discuss, and then it would fall under one of those umbrella categories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because I can see how it could be cost prohibitive in certain circumstances for the district to hook somebody up. if they're too far from the main line.
Mm.
Or if they have to, you have to extend the water main too far, that's hugely expensive. But with PG&E, I just wanted to hook up to, the line that was across the street, and they told me it was gonna cost $35,000 to go across the street and put a meter at the end of my property, so. Yeah, so I get that that's really costly. So, okay, so that answers my question. I don't know that we want to put all of that in here. But is there some process that you go through to make those decisions? Is there a threshold as far as cost?
Not currently, but I mean,
I'm not making any suggestions.
yeah,
that
I
they
know.
should be. I'm just trying to
A
figure
lot
out
of
what-
times, all of these are decided on a case by case basis, but
Sure.
the cost, that'd be a board decision that we could bring to them and say, is there a limit of district revenues that you would be allowed would think to spend on these customer services? So
Does that come up very often? Is this like a rare instance?
it's very rare.
Okay, all right. So then if it's a rare instance, then yes, you can, that makes sense that you would say, hey, we're not sure if this is cost effective. What do you think, board? Can you approve this? Okay. I just had questions, so not so much suggestions. I wasn't sure about what meter transfers were, and if you could tell me what that meant. That's under meter administration. Does that transfer from one person to another, or are you,
Are you looking at the entire policy manual?
mhm.
Okay, that's not the item that we're on.
Oh, okay. That was confusing too.
Item 4B,
Mhm.
and then you have a
Well,
staff
it's the
memo,
package.
attachment A is the actual policy.
I didn't hear the question, so I don't know what's going on. I'm just as confused.
Yeah,
I don't
was
even know,
confused
I
as-
don't know where to put any of my comments now.
Right, yeah, because there were
There's
different pieces
There's
of
two
basically this.
policies there, and then there's
same-
the consolidation policy, which is
Uh-huh.
the last item.
Right, okay.
Felt like I just kept rereading the same thing over and over and I couldn't figure out. And then it was like the same piece. I was traveling, I didn't get it until like I was on the road. So I was trying to read it on mobile. And so like I thought it was just me and then I was doing something, but like it was really hard to read the whole packet. And now that you're saying we're out of order,
What was the question?
do you want to save that one?
We could save it till we get, to, I just wanna
Okay,
know what.
as long as you remember what it was, that's fine.
I just wanna know what a meter transfer was,
Meter transfer.
A meter transfer.
yeah.
I don't know.
Can you work on that and all?
Yeah, I mean, meter transfer.
Yeah,
I read it in there too. I was like, maybe if
Is that in here? Jim?
there's a rental,
Is that for your 4B?
well, but we don't.
Is that for the service connection?
She's looking at the full policy
I'm
manual.
looking at the full policy, cause that's where it's all fleshed out.
All right, let's do
There's
it.
1106 meter relocations, and then under that is a meter administration. And the last bullet talks about meter
It says
transfer.
meter transfer shall be prohibited except as expressly authorized by board approved procedures.
Oh, okay, so you can't take a meter from one address or location and use it for another thing.
Okay,
So yeah, if I was,
that makes sense.
if I owned a home
Hmm.
and my home burned down, and then I said, well, I'm not using my meter anymore, I can't give it to you. That's what, there is no meter transfer.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
I'll let it go till the next topic then.
All right, Shelley Canton.
I'm so lost. I like the diagram. I'm under specifically the service connection policy.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's
And
our
I'm
rec-
not seeing 11s and what I don't see it. But under that, I like the now I have to get back up to it. The diagram, I thought
Mhm.
that was succinct. I also am curious about what a GIS, and I think that kind of circles back to what Cheryl was saying about the acronyms, because
Yeah.
I couldn't find it anywhere. And I go, you have to start, because it says you got to start with a technical GIS. And I'm like, what's a GIS? So I've been, scrolling all up and down trying to figure out what that means. But I figure if everybody
Graphical
there knows what it
information
means,
systems?
Yeah.
huh?
Graphical information system,
Geographic.
or geographical information systems.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit,
It's
Yeah.
like Google, it's Google Maps. It's something that, you pinpoint something on the earth.
Okay.
And so it's a technical map of that, but you're right. We can put all these acronyms
All
on
to
a sheet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, it felt very straightforward what I was looking at for that service connection all the way down, multiple meters, long service line agreement. Yeah, after board approval, legal thought, that's what I'm looking at. Is that along with the
Yes.
diagram? Is
Mhm.
that the correct? Okay, that's all I'm looking at
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's where I'm stopping.
Okay. Thank you.
I missed that. All right, it's to me. I guess on this specific policy, the only thing that I noticed was on page 39. Sorry, I'm like super technical. It says the Wilson voter application staff must wait for accounting confirmation, but accounting's capitalized. I don't think that needs to be capitalized. Otherwise, yeah, I don't really have any further comments on this one. I don't think. Let me just double check. Oh, I don't think it's on this one, but I just like it's throughout. We're supposed to be switching everything over to general manager, and I saw district manager like everywhere. I don't know if it was specifically this one. So, this is not dealing with transfers, right? That's the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any further comments? No. And we can move to public comment. We have no one in the room and just double checking. Yeah, we have no one online. All right. Well, we can move on to the next item on our agenda.
I'm gonna take that to the board.
Oh, again, yeah, a motion, sorry. Does anyone have a motion?
The memo does.
Okay,
The memo has.
I can move it, I just gotta get there. I don't know why I'm going down here. All right, that's the protection policy. Oh my gosh. It's not the public utility protection. It's not the first one. We have to
No,
move
it's-
down.
4B.
Okay.
The bookmark should be correct. You just switch them.
Okay. Sorry, I scrolled up and I had to scroll down. So now we gotta go all the way down to the recommended motion. Here we go. All right. Oh, not really a motion. I move that we send the service connection policy and service connection process flow chart to be presented to the board of directors for adoption.
Second.
Lena Lane,
Yes.
Mark Dolson,
Yes.
Cheryl Adams,
Yes.
and Shelley Canton.
Yes.
Motion has passed. Thank you.
All right, we can move on to the next item, which is the public utility policy.
Okay. Staff is presenting a proposed public utility protection policy for committee review and direction. This policy replaces the district's existing public fire protection provision that was adopted in 2016. The purpose of this update is to modernize the policy, improve clarity, strengthen our enforcement tools, and better protect the district water infrastructure and utility assets. We clarified authorized and unauthorized use of district fire hydrants within this policy. We also defined unauthorized hydrant use and unauthorized system connections as theft of water, which was not explicitly explained before. Strengthening the district's ability to address tampering, water theft, and damage to public infrastructure. And we also provided authority for enforcement and cost recovery consistent with current California law. The policy also authorizes the general manager or his designee to administer and implement procedures necessary to carry out these provisions. There's no fiscal impact at this time. And so I'm just going to leave it open for questions.
All right, Shelley Canton.
Yes. So I'm looking at all the red line, correct?
Yes.
Is that the correct? Okay. Is there anywhere that this was with input of CAL FIRE, or am I missing it? Like,
No input from CAL FIRE now.
so anything about the fire department, do you have to run this by them or have their input, or is this just the water districts?
This is just the water district policy, but if we were to have some kind of an agreement with the fire department, that would be in the place of an MOU or an interagency agreement.
Okay, would it be wise to do that? Seek that first?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, that was just, as I was reading, I didn't see anything that this was done in collaboration so that you're ahead of the game for this instead of behind it. And it just makes for interagencies, as you said. I just think it makes for that collaboration. That's
I agree.
what I took away from that red update. Okay.
All right, Cheryl Adams.
I think it's good, that we have, something in writing and clear that it's not okay to steal water. And we call it stealing water because that's what it is. Yeah. And so I'm glad that you guys are doing that. It does say the district may enter into agreements with fire protection agencies. So it's there, but
Yeah, that's not my decision. That's the general manager's decision.
right, yeah. I had a question on the penalties and, you made some references to violations and enforcement in 203. Persons violating this part will be subject to enforcement action under California Water Code, Penal Code, and Government Code. Are there any citations of those codes anywhere?
Basically, my understanding is it becomes a civil matter. I mean, you can take it, you'll call the sheriff's office, they'll come and do a report,
It's
file
not
it.
considered a criminal thing.
Yeah, it's not to us to enforce fines. Yeah.
That was my question, is how does that get enforced?
Mhm.
Yeah. So would you have to sue?
You'd probably just file a police report, a water theft police report,
Uh-huh.
and put it into the hands of them at that point. I don't know what else you could do, maybe a civil action
That's all you
depending on
can
how
do.
much.
It's called the theft of public utilities,
Yeah.
and that's about it. And they don't really do anything with it. And I'm speaking from years of experience where people are hooking up illegal lines and running or stealing off of hydrants.
Mhm.
There's
Well,
not
so
much-
we're declaring that this is theft and it's not okay and it's illegal, but we don't have any teeth behind it, really.
No.
We had little to no teeth behind it before. We have a little bit more behind it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting from this, but I just wanted to clarify, because we don't have any way to enforce like a criminal act, which it should be.
It's just
stealing.
easier to actually enforce the law when you have a policy that backs up what you're gonna be doing. You know,
Right.
what we had before was literally 3 sentences that said, "Don't steal our water," and that was it. So
Okay, all right.
we're trying to make it a little bit more deterrent, I guess, a little bit more of a deterrent for people.
Well, it definitely sounds like there's more to it. At least you're putting people on notice that this is not okay and we're gonna do something about it. Whether it actually involves
Whether they
any
have-
consequences or not, that's,
Not a-
sometimes it's just not our, you know, in our purview to do that, but, okay. That was all I really wanted to ask about that one. Okay.
Mark Dolson?
I have no comment, but I appreciated Cheryl's, Phil.
Yeah, I didn't really have on that. I think everything else I have is for 4C. It's good to have this policy in place, especially if we move forward with consolidating with other districts that have a lot more of this issues and these connections. So protecting ourselves, I think, is really important. Oh, we got Shelley, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was curious, do you monitor which of the meters is losing water? I mean, is there an area that seems to have a higher outflow of water that you could tell if people were thefting water or taking water from that source?
I believe it's usually based on a witness.
Yeah,
statement
and
that you
usually
see
an
somebody
eyewitness count. The only meters that I know of, Scott, you're gonna have to correct me, would be at the wells themselves or the treatment plants.
Correct.
So that's basically serving the whole system.
Okay,
But it has been identified before, you know, people in construction, from other construction companies, just tapping into water.
Yeah, we usually have people calling and saying, hey, there's somebody hooked up to a hydrant, they don't have a meter on it,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
okay, I was just, there we go.
Like swimming pools.
The high school.
That one there too.
Mhm.
Oh, boy.
Oh. All right. We can go out to public comment. We have no one in the room and no one online. Do I have a motion? I can do it. I move to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt the public utility protection policy as presented by staff and direct its incorporation to the district's consolidation policies and procedures manual.
Second.
Alina Lane,
Yes.
Mark Dolson,
Yes,
Cheryl Adams,
Yes.
and Shelley Canton.
Yes,
Motion has passed. Thank you.
Right, we can move on to our last item, 4C, consolidation policies and procedures manual update and policy review schedule.
Okay.
Okay,
This
now
is
we
a big
get
one.
I was looking at.
It's okay. So staff is presenting the proposed consolidated policies and procedures manual, and along with that is the appendix A, which is our policy review schedule. This has been something you guys have been asking for a while, so I
Mhm.
have been working on it. It's
Mhm.
definitely a work in progress, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 years, the district has adopted a number of new policies, and we've also updated existing policies relating to personnel, public records, workplace conduct, federal grants management, customer service, for service connections and billing, public utility protection, and groundwater management. These policies currently exist in multiple standalone documents, which we've now integrated those into this. The proposed manual consolidates those into one to hopefully have a single governance document for the entire district. So I'm just gonna put in a couple of the additions here. So we have our public records and records retention policies that were just recently passed. Those are in there now. We have workplace conduct and harassment prevention policies, which are outlined in there now. Personnel system rules and regulations, which were incorporated completely in there as section 2, I believe. Public utility protection policy, that was the one we just discussed. Federal grant reimbursement cash management policy that was approved by the board last month. Customer billing and rate assistance policies. You guys are familiar with those. Those are now in there. Service connection policy, and then the surplus supplies and equipment policy. So those were all approved in the last 2 years between 2024 and 2026. They were never really integrated. They were just standalone policies, which makes it really hard when you're trying to find a schedule of when these things need to be reviewed again. So I did attach an appendix A for you guys, the review schedule. I tried to organize the actual standalone policies themselves within the policy manual to where they kind of stuck out a little bit more. And yeah, so my whole hope with this is that we have one document that helps the entire district, including the board. And also we stick with our schedule so we can stay on top of these policies, because as we know, there's been policies that are outdated, and I want to try to fix that.
Excellent.
And then with that, any questions?
All right. Cheryl Adams?
So are we then commenting on the stuff in red?
Let me look here. It would be attachment 3, yes.
Section 108, policy administration and amendments new.
So everything, I mean, I pretty much redid the entire thing, but it'll show you what's been changed in red. And-
Right, and you had to reorder things and the table of
Mhm.
contents is different, which
Right.
is every time you update a manual, that has to
Mhm.
be updated too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that the policy administration and amendments, that new section, I like the fact that you are giving the general manager the power to make corrections without having to go to the board for everything on this
Mhm.
manual. So I think the way that it's written up now, that if it's substantive changes to policy, that it needs to go to the board, and other just updates that you want to do on a regular basis that don't involve substantial changes to policy can be done internally and so I think that's a good thing. And let me see. Pretty slow. I didn't have any changes to that, but I thought it was a good thing. The fire hydrant use part, which we discussed. And that's where it talks about, who can draw water from the fire hydrants. And there's not very many people who are authorized to do that. And then the theft of the water, that's here too, the actual policy of it. I don't think I had.
Yeah, that section 11 that you were referencing is more of the operations.
Mhm.
That's part of the problem when you're trying to combine more rules and regulations and personnel, and you're trying to put them together.
Oh, yeah,
There's things that are gonna overlap a little bit.
right, exactly. And I guess the only thing, violations and enforcement, you talk of in another part about particular codes. If there is actually a code that you would think you would use to implement these policies, maybe it would be good to have a hyperlink to those codes so people can look at them.
Yeah, and the overall and the entire new policy manual, there's links. It's just they're kind of hard to see. They're usually just you'll see them, they're kind of highlighted blue.
Okay.
So like
okay.
discrimination, harassment, and retaliation, if you click on that, it takes you to the policy.
Yeah, I see those.
Yeah,
I see those.
And there's a bunch of them like
Okay.
that. So should be some in there as well for government code sections.
Okay.
Because yeah, I was under the same thing. It's like there's no way I'd even know how to find it. So
It's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Right.
mhm.
And then I had started talking about the service connection policy. And already answered most of my questions. Anything else, because I stopped. Okay. No, I don't think I had any other questions or comments on the rest of this stuff. So, yeah, I'm done.
Awesome.
All right, Shelley Canton?
I'm not seeing anything red in this one. Or it was, did we already go over the one that had all the red? Because I'm scrolling again through the different
I don't
sections.
see, it has a little bit of red on like the table of contents, the first couple of pages.
Page
Oh,
one,
there.
meeting one.
Okay. I'm like, oh my God, is the red? I see it now, the amended. Got
Yeah,
it.
because I had to
Okay.
change all the numbering, so, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, now I see it all. No, I actually thought it was nicely put together. The tabs, I guess when you finalize it for its organization, you'll have the different that match the different sections of the policy binder.
Right.
Like I want sewerage or connection, or I will go to that see tab in your table of contents. So you
Mhm.
go right to it electronically as well.
Right.
Right, the
That's-
hyperlink. Isn't that what you were saying about the hyperlink on each of these?
Well, hyperlinks I put within the actual policy manual to the direct government code section or to the policy, the standalone policy that we have on the website. But
Uh-huh.
as far as the table, I know you're talking about bookmarks. I haven't set those up yet because I wasn't sure if anything was gonna change. So once we get this board approved and if things want to get moved around or whatever, then I'll do that at the end.
Okay, I just thought to make it simpler, maybe harder up front, but
Yeah.
simpler for, when we go to look at a certain policy, we can go
And on
right.
this one in particular, if you go to the page number, I believe it is, on the table of contents, you can click control and click and it'll take you to it.
Yes.
Nice.
It should. Anyway.
On the red one?
Yeah, it's not doing it now, but it was doing it before.
Yeah.
Well, in
I-
the fun-
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my actual document, it works.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I was going back and forth.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I thought it was nicely formatted, looks good. It's deja vu. We've gone through a lot of these, so yeah,
Not
that's,
sure those links.
thank you so much.
They don't come to a
I
PDF.
don't think so.
That explains it.
Can I make one
Okay.
more comment out of turn?
I don't know.
I didn't even mention my thanks for the policy review schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that can help you on a year-to-year basis say, okay, this year these are the ones we need to review, and then figure out a way to do it staff-wise. So thanks for doing that. Anyway.
Did you have anything else, Shelley?
No, I was able on a work-free, drug-free, it was in blue and I was able to click and go to it. But yeah, I see it.
Good.
Nice. That's a nice feature. So anyway.
Mark Dolson?
I'll just echo the positive comments and leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I had some questions. It says the board shall consider a max of 5 transfers per year only during July. Can you elaborate with that? Why only July, and did we do that? I didn't feel like we.
What are we considering here?
It says the board shall consider a max of 5 transfers per year. I can find where it was. I thought I had it up. It's on 89 of the packet, and G says conditions of transfer of water meters.
I think is that the old one?
Oh,
Or C, attachment 2. Yeah, you want attachment 3 is the new one.
oh. So we're not allowing transfers.
I don't believe so. I didn't see that in there.
Okay.
Meter transfer shall be prohibited except as expressly authorized by board approved
Okay.
procedures.
I don't know if any of my comments are valid, 'cause I just like read everything.
Because that's where I asked, well, what's a meter transfer?
All right, so that mean my next one was like shut-offs were listed and we weren't doing shut-offs, so that got deleted too. I was
Mhm.
reading this on mobile, so it was hard. Okay. And so the Bear Creek info, that went away then too? Okay. And probably the sewage rates, it said it was like $45, and so that was probably gone too, and I was reading the old stuff, confused. Let's see, I have a comment on 108. Is that still old stuff? That was attachment 2 as well. So it's supposed to be attachment 3. So that was all. So never mind. I guess all mine, I read all that for the joy of reading it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have any comments on attachment 3, so that one looked great.
Oh, okay. I
Yay.
just saved the other attachment just so you guys can see the before and after.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I was the only one that really struggled with what you guys wanted from us and what we're supposed to be like reading. So maybe a little
Mhm.
clarity on that. Because I was definitely confused. Maybe from the laptop it would have been a little easier, but I think
Yeah, I agree. There was a little bit of confusion on my part too, what we were supposed to be reading and commenting on. There was a lot of information. And I like the fact that you gave us, the big manual so we could see what's happening. And that you had it in red. And I was assuming that that's the red part was what you wanted us to read. So, yeah. But I was a little confused too.
Yeah. Well, on the board policy manual, I didn't really know which other way to do it because if I would have redlined the entire board policy manual that I redid, the whole thing would have been red. So
Which wouldn't have been
that wouldn't have
helpful.
not have been helpful. So
No.
that's why I tried to put the before and after.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah.
so I guess my only like comment that I really have is like I don't know if we really want the employee sexual harassment and all of that, and then your water meters. Do we really want those in one document? Because if
I do.
you do, I to me that doesn't make sense. Like you should have like employee policies and procedures, and then like customer policies.
And that's what we had before. I'm good luck matching those together.
What's I like? What do you mean?
You had a rules and regulations, which was for our operations, then you had personnel policies and procedures, which was, God, it was just crazy. And then when you try to figure out where one of those lives, some of them would kind of overlap a little bit, and so it was just really confusing. And so all of those, including the board, has asked for us to combine them. So that's what we've done.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel like sexual harassment doesn't belong with meters, but
You can do what you're
It's in its own
doing
section.
and like, but you're just subdividing that book, right? You're just saying that all of the employee stuff is in this general section of it.
Yeah.
All the
Okay.
operational stuff is in this section of it.
okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Do you have any further comments from the board or the committee? We can go to public comment. We have no one in the room and no one online. Do we have a motion? Anyone want to try to make a motion? It's fun. I know you can do it. I can find it again. I gotta go all the way up. It's
I'm
long.
looking for the memo.
Yeah, I'm going up to the top. What does this say?
Should be page 45.
45, yeah.
Oh, I was a long ways away. Thank you for that. I was still at 114. All right. Okay. I move that the proposed consolidation policies and procedure manuals and Appendix A policy review schedule be provided to the Board of Directors for adoption.
Second.
Rowena Lane,
Yes.
Mark Dolson,
Yes.
Cheryl Adams.
Yes.
And Shelley Tanton.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion has passed.
All right. All right, well, that concludes the new business. We have no unfinished business. Information material is just our previous minute. We have our future agenda parking lot. So committee may identify topic projects or policy matters for future consideration and referral to staff. No substantive discussion or action shall occur on items not otherwise listed on the agenda. So upcoming for future, we have the Brown Act policy new, ethics and or conflicts of interest policy new, policies and procedures manual, combined rules and regs with personal policies, and the strategic plan. Does anyone have any comments to put here? Nope. See none. Public comment, no one in the room, no one online. We can adjourn this meeting at 11:45.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shelley.
Hey, thank you.
Very.
You paid
I
for it.
I was